Bienvenidos a M2, soy Susana Moscatel y como ya estamos prácticamente a la mitad del año, nos damos cuenta de que hay muchas cosas que valen la pena, pues todavía ver en la televisión o en el cine si no las han visto. Aquí un poquito de lo que hemos tenido, de lo mejor que hemos tenido hasta ahora en el año. Y empecemos por esta serie de Shonda Rhimes en Netflix llamada Queen Charlotte, un spin-off de Bridgerton y verdaderamente algo que da mucho placer. Ivette Salgado platicó con los protagonistas de esta serie.
I mean, this story allows to see how important representation is. And I wonder, India, if a few years ago you had seen yourself represented on the screen with a character like Charlotte. Because
absolutely
that is
not.
so important.
Yeah, it is important. Basically because of my answer, which is no. I always wanted to be in this industry, but I never had a prominent role model nor figure that I could that I would kind of look up to in the sense of I want to be like X, said person from my age or people from my background. So the fact that this is a show and that this is out and that hopefully that will be she can be someone that people can look to is so important, is really, really important.
Y bueno, de Queen Charlotte, que es una fantasía de revisionismo histórico bonito, nos vamos a mi serie favorita, posiblemente de todos los tiempos. Y sé que muchos de ustedes van a coincidir. Estoy hablando de Succession. Cuando Ivette Salgado hizo estas entrevistas, iba a empezar la temporada número 4 apenas. Pasaron 10 capítulos, 4 temporadas, ya terminó. Yo todavía estoy con la cabeza volada de cómo terminó. Pero cuando empezaba no sabíamos muchas cosas, no va a haber spoilers para quien no la haya visto, pero esto dijeron los protagonistas de Succession.
I would like to know if Logan has changed anything on you as an actor in all these years.
No, it's been a great role to play. I've loved playing him. He's a really interesting character. He's a character, there's more to him than meets the eye. Not as far as the audience is concerned, because they don't make that kind of effort. They just see him as brutal and bad and horrible. And I don't think he's any of those things, but that's not for me to decide. That's for you guys to decide. No, it's been a great experience. I've had the best time, And I've worked with a great bunch of actors. It's been a great cast. So, I'm glad it's over. I'm very happy it's over.
Do you think that talking about family issues is what make this story so universal and success?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I mean, I would say the show ultimately, on its deepest level, is about familial trauma and societal trauma. This happens to be a family that has its hands on the levers of power. And so whatever damage or toxicity is within this family gets pumped out into the well water of our world.
Y bueno, en otras cosas, porque Succession, HBO, ¿verdad? Volvemos a Netflix porque el chupacabras, pero para niños, un poquito al estilo de E.T. de Jonás Cuarón, tuvo de protagónicos Demian Bichir, Christian Slater. La verdad es que es una película muy linda, sorprendente, muy ochentera en el sentido de la aventura infantil, de los sueños de las criaturas fantásticas que llegan a nuestra vida. Y esto nos dijeron ellos.
You were really young. You didn't grow up in the 80s like we did, the 90s like your parents probably did. So what's the magic? How do you find the magic here? Because we're finding it again, and you do an amazing job, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I just kind of they gave me an atmosphere so that it's so easy to just live in the 90s. You could just immediately tell what it was like, because they went all out. They got the baggy pants and the baggy clothes and the baggy everything and the Game Boy, and just everything was 90s. So I got to live in the 90s. It was pretty cool.
Actually, I think he thinks he's doing a good thing, but sure. Everybody else is going, no, you're horrible.
Right. Yeah, well, there's definitely a lost in translation couple of moments here. Yeah, if this whole team here had, communicated a little bit better, we probably would have all gotten along fine.
Y hablando de los niños que fuimos y de los adultos que algunos no deberían ser, pero señores, La Sirenita, el live action, en lo personal creo que es un éxito total. Aún quizá va a ganar más dinero en algunas taquillas, vamos a estar viendo, porque todo el mundo se anda peleando si sí o si no. El hecho es que es una película hermosa. Y el hecho es que Halle Bailey canta como los dioses y que Javier Bardem gozó tanto hacer esto que ya está pidiendo que pues le hagan una nueva versión, una nueva película que sean Tritón y Úrsula peleándose. Ya, olvídense de los demás. Quién sabe qué pase, pero en su momento esto nos dijeron.
This is very emotional for so many people.
Yes.
And of course, you have to be very concentrated in what you're doing when you're filming.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that emotion was there.
Yes.
And I want to keep at that because that's what this film means to so many people.
Yes.
How was that experience for you?
Wow, I mean, it was an immensely beautiful and transformative experience for me. I auditioned for the film when I was 18, and I'm 23 now. So it was really in the developmental years of you being a young woman, you're still finding yourself. And, I've never done a project like this before. I'm a singer and musician first. I'm used to performing and being on stage, but this was a new world for me. So it really taught me a lot about myself, and I feel like Ariel has breathed this new life into me and has taught me that I can do things that I never thought I could have imagined. So I think it's been a really good experience for me.
Tú que tienes tanta experiencia haciendo tanto tipo de películas, te veo más emocionado que todas las demás veces que he tenido la oportunidad de...
Hombre, es que el viaje del padre de ella es un viaje muy emocional que tiene que ver con descubrir el amor a una hija, ¿no? El cómo es amar mejor a tu hija. Y lo descubre gracias a ella. O sea, los adultos, la madre de él y el padre de ella aprenden a amar gracias a los hijos que tienen.
¿Y qué sería de la vida sin los Muppets, ¿Qué sería de la vida sin ellos y sin la música? Así que platicamos con la banda de, Mayhem, Muppet Mayhem y Captain Tooth, de Golden Tooth, de hecho, y ¡wow! Quiero que nada más vean la sonrisa. Es que el poder hablar con los Muppets es como decirle a los niños que fuimos, todo va a estar bien.
Who has influenced Muppet Mayhem? I mean, what are your biggest musical influences? Would you guys have someone special?
Well, I'm going to say that our influences run the gamut, from alternative rock to Zydeco, and Adamant to Ziggy Marley.
Oh, for sure. There's so much amazing music out there. It's totally impossible not to be influenced by it.
True. But I'd have to say the most influential musicians to me are my fellow Electric Mayhem band.
Oh,
that's true. No, it's true.
Wow.
You inspire me every day to rock harder, play louder, make music better.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, man.
Ditto.
Ditto?
What?
Ditto?
Yeah.
All right.
Ditto.
Y sin duda alguna uno de los logros importantes de este año ha sido el regreso al multiverso de Spider-Man, animado en esta ocasión, animado además en gran parte por un mexicano. Ivette Salgado tiene los detalles acerca de cómo esta cinta está cambiando los paradigmas de la animación también.
The first one was a big surprise, and the fans loved the movie, and then it won the Oscar. So, are you ready for what is coming? Are you nervous?
We're always nervous, but we're also really proud of this movie and the way that it subverts your expectations once again. And like you said, we're trying to surprise the audience every time and show you something that you didn't know you wanted, and give you a cinematic experience that you can't get anywhere else.
O sea, solamente esa idea de saber que hay niños y niñas que van a crecer con estos superhéroes. Y sabes que no solo nos pasa a nosotros, también vamos a tener a Pavitra en la India, ¿no? Y va a haber niños en India también que van a crecer con un Spider-Man que se parece a ellos, ¿no? Y es algo muy bonito eso.
Ahora, si estamos hablando de cambiar paradigmas de la animación y de todo lo que él toque, Guillermo del Toro siempre propone cosas fantásticas y corran a ver Pinocho otra vez si ya la vieron, si no la han visto, ¿qué esperan? Este Pinocho de Guillermo del Toro en Netflix es un sueño hecho realidad, a veces pesadilla, pero un sueño al fin.
¿cuál es el primer motor que te hizo desde pequeño decir, esta es la historia que quiero contar?
Bueno, la idea de la infancia como un momento bastante difícil, y la paternidad como una cosa llena de fallas humanas, pero entrañables, y la falta de comunicación entre padres e hijos es el motor de la película. La película está organizada a través de varias historias de padres e hijos.
Y bueno, por último, vámonos con lo que nos platicó Salma Hayek hace algunas semanas acerca del primer capítulo de Black Mirror. La temporada ya está 5 capítulos. El primero es el mejor, la verdad. Salma Hayek y Annie Murphy. Vamos a ver qué nos dijeron.
But what I love about this episode is that, so many of Charlie's episodes are so steeped in kind of like existential dread, and they pop into your head at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep and keep you awake. But this one, I think you said a little bit of this, but it's one of the more lighthearted comedic episodes. And so I think people who maybe have been a little bit trepidatious to watch Black Mirror because it's too intense, feel like this is a very good episode to kind of like set a nice tone for the rest of the season, which I think gets more intense as it goes on.
I think for me, what's very interesting is that it made me question how much has the machine taken over my own personality and my taste and what I think of other things without me even knowing, and I've seen it on other people that it's even worse because I'm not so much, I don't spend a lot of time on the machines. I know some people, where you start disappearing and you start becoming all the machines are influencing you to become.
Y todo eso ante el estreno de la última vez, él jura que así será, que Harrison Ford interpreta Indiana Jones. Esto ya, este jueves, en todos los cines del mundo, así que ahí lo tienen. Con eso nos quedamos. Soy Susana Moscatel. Gracias, equipo, gracias, Caro, gracias, Ivette, Tecla, todos, absolutamente todos. Aquí estamos.